Good morning, everyone. A very, very warm welcome to all, especially to all the students, to all the teachers, and especially to all our respected office bearers as well. A very warm welcome to our respected Indian Medical Association MS.
Madam, you are not audible. Okay, I think I'll just continue. Good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to today's session of Teen Talk series. As we continue with our Teen Talk series, we bring to you our next session. And time is gold, time is money, and time is everything. So it is very apt that we start today's session in time, because otherwise we cannot really set a good example if we do not start a session on time management in time. So for today's session, which is, take charge of your time and take charge of your life. That is what we want to teach you by today's session. We have our very own expert, Dr. Kavita Karir, with us. We warmly welcome Indian Medical Association Maharashtra State President Dr. Suhas Pingle sir, Indian Medical Association Maharashtra State Honorary Secretary Dr. Mangesh Pate sir. And before I invite Pingle sir to give his presidential speech on behalf of Mission Pink Health IMA Maharashtra State, we pay tribute to Lata Didi, our very own Lata Didi. We lost her today morning, and era has passed. I think she has given us songs for every reason, songs for every season, a golden voice which will live in our memories through her songs. She will be there with us forever. So through Indian Medical Association, Maharashtra State, we pay a rich tribute to Lata Didi. And with this, I invite Suhas Pingle sir to kindly give his presidential address.
Well, I appreciate this paying homage or tribute to Lata Didi, Bharat Ratna Lata Mangeshkar ji. And time management in modern times is one of the most important factor of management of everything, including your own life. So I welcome the speaker and the people who are attending this. And let's proceed with the talk.
Thank you so much, sir. And now we invite Dr. Mangesh Pate, Honorary Secretary, IMA Maharashtra State, to please say a few words.
Thank you, Honorable President Dr. Suhas Pingle sir. Again, homage to Lata Didi on behalf of Indian Medical Association Maharashtra State. And again, the IMA Mission Pink Health Maharashtra State is coming out with the Teen Talk series, another practical, very useful topic of time management. I wish you all the best for again today's this webinar. May it benefit to all, one and all students who are attending it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, I read something very beautiful which says time is slow when you wait, time is fast when you are late, time is deadly when you are sad, time is short when you are happy, time is endless when you are in pain, time is long when you feel bored, but time is most beautiful when you are in love. But time is like a flowing river. It's like the water which flows once, you will never be able to touch it again. In COVID, actually, we lost the entire sense of time. I mean, the pandemic took over our lives in such a disastrous manner that we all have been confined at home. We do not know when is the lockdown going on, when, are we going online, offline. Things are really becoming so chaotic around us that we have lost the actual sense and perception of time. And this is bringing in a lot of chaos in our lives. But it is about time that we said, no, we are responsible for our lives. We are responsible for our time, because we have lots of students over here. We have got lots of parents, teachers, and I'm so happy to welcome, people who are attending from different parts of India as well. And I'm sure as the session progresses, we'll be seeing many more people who are joining us So yes, time is an essence, and if we do not take care of the time is not going to take care of us. So for this topic on time management, we have an expert over here, and it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kavita Karir to us. Just give me a minute. Is my screen visible to all? Is my screen visible? Yeah.
Yes,
So
it is visible.
yes. So we have Dr. Kavita Karir with us. She's consultant emotional intelligence. She's a counselor. She's vice president SOFOSH. She's consultant training and organizational development. She's conducted more than 100 workshops on emotional intelligence. She's worked as lecturer and associate professor at BJMC and Sassoon Hospitals, Pune for 18 years. She's managing childcare centers, Srivatsa and Tara, and patient welfare activities by Pune-based NGO SOFOSH with focus on child development and adoption. She's offered free counseling and conducted several webinars during pandemic, including Pune Zilla Parishad and Pune Police Commissionerate. And we are witness to the kind of beautiful sessions that she takes, because we have had quite a few occasions on which we have heard her, and believe me, she's excellent. And I'm sure the way we have enjoyed her sessions and learned many things through her, the students, parents and teachers and all other members who are taking advantage of today's session will also get to learn a lot of things from Dr. Kavita Karir. So over to you, madam, for today's session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Archana, for your kind words. And indeed, I remember the wonderful time we had earlier when you had invited me for the sessions at your place. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. And I believe as we go ahead, a lot more people will join in. I would like to start, of course, we got this unfortunate news. So I would like to start with paying my respects to Lata Mangeshkar ji, and indeed it's a great loss for us. On that note, let us move ahead. I want to I want to start my session with asking you a question. How many of you are very good or okay in time management? You can call yourself good time managers. So all of those who are good time managers, give me a high five.
Good time management. Are you in that?
How many of you are good in the time management?
Madam, may I just disturb you for a minute? Actually, I have muted everybody, but somehow some people are able to unmute themselves. Anybody who is please not speaking, please keep yourself muted so that the speaker is not disturbed.
Yeah, so I'll be only using the, I won't be asking anyone to talk. So this is just a high five. Can you give me a high five if you are good at managing your time? I hope everyone has their cameras on anyway. So how many of you are bad or poor in your time management? Give me a thumbs down.
You can put it in the chat box if you want.
Okay, I think most of us are not good, or we consider ourselves as not so good in time management. And before I move ahead, I want to thank each one of you who is on board here. It's a Sunday morning, and you could have been anywhere else, but I really appreciate that all of you have come on board, and I'm really grateful. Now, I've been working in this field for several years, and there are many aspects of time management which I have learned over the years. A lot of them I have been implementing in my life, and I have benefited, but it's not possible for me to put across everything within the time constraint. But I will try to give whatever is the best from my side. I will try to give the most relevant points today within the time constraint, and I hope at the end of the session each one of you will be able to take at least some tool or strategy for effective time management. I'll be speaking this obviously because it is a part of the teen series. I will be speaking this from the student perspective, but the concepts are equally applicable to all the adults as well. Now, all of us have come here, and all of us are from varied backgrounds. We have different life situations, but there is one thing which is common for all of us, and that is we have the same amount of time in one day. We have 86,400 seconds, 1,400 40 minutes and 24 hours in a day. And although we have the same amount of time, all of us have different life situations. And one of the reasons is the way we have been using our time till now. And although we have the same amount of time, I think all of us have different life situations. One of the reasons, is because the way time plays in our lives is completely different. And all of us have a lot of varied thoughts and beliefs about time. So let me here ask you, what are your thoughts and beliefs about your time? Not a general perspective about time, but your thoughts and belief about your time. Can anyone unmute and answer this question? And I would request the participants to be more interactive, because the more we talk and share, the more we can learn from this session. It should definitely not be a one-way session where only I talk and you listen. So can I have some views on what is your thoughts?
Madam, do you want me to allow the participants to mute and unmute themselves at will? Because otherwise there will be a lot of chaos if somebody forgets to unmute themselves.
We can
or
try
mute
that,
themselves.
because unless and until we do that, we will not be I suppose each one of us should have the responsibility of unmuting once we talk. Let us try it. If it is becoming too chaotic, we may then
All right.
get back to.
So I have allowed participants to unmute themselves. Please be responsible enough to mute yourselves once you have finished talking.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts and beliefs about your time management?
Or you can just, if you're not comfortable speaking up, you can just type it in the chat box. Anybody wants to type in the chat box, please do that.
And if not this, and Dr. Archana just mentioned about how the pandemic has, changed the whole equation for us. I mean, the pandemic has been a real eye-opener for us. It has shown us that anything can happen at any time, and our lives can go haywire. It has taught us that we cannot take our time for granted. It has taught us that we have a limited time on Earth. So can anyone at least share how the pandemic has been playing with your time in your life in the current situation? I suppose each one of us have a lot of things to share about how the pandemic is playing with your time. Can anyone share this? I think all of us are sleepy on the Sunday morning.
No, I think it's just the initial barrier. Once it is broken, people will be happy to share.
Yeah.
It's the initial hitch.
I know. Let's break the barrier, and someone should break the barrier, and who will be the person to start?
Okay, let me just say that initially it used to be my day used to pass. I wouldn't realize where it is going. But now when I'm at work, I'm happy. My time is passing. But when I'm back home, I really don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, it's a lot of, empty feeling because through these last 2 years, I think I saw a lot of death. I saw a lot of depression around me because there were families who were devastated. We were caring for patients who were on the deathbed and looking forward to meet their families, but we couldn't allow them to do so. We saw so much of desperation and despair. So that desperation and despair has come into our lives somewhere. It has seeped into our lives. So yes, the meaning and the perspective of time has definitely changed, and whatever time you get with your family, you started valuing it even much more.
Absolutely, that is something which we have learned. Vijay here says it has given good time for myself and family. Yes, that is something which all of us have realized. The imposed lockdown on all of us. Of course, now we are in a much better place. But when we started the lockdown in 19, for the first year it was completely chaotic for us, and we just had to be home, and that played a lot of in a lot of ways in our lives. And of course, the good thing was that we got time with our family. Avanish says the pandemic has made us glued to the screen, which is stealing our productive time. Absolutely. And there's a request to talk in Hindi as the parents will be comfortable. Okay, जहाँ तक possible है मैं हिंदी में भी बात करूंगी. तो क्या आप बता सकते हैं पैंडेमिक की वजह से आपके लाइफ में ये जो टाइम का जो इशू हुआ है, आपका उसमें व्हाट इज योर एक्सपीरियंस, आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा है? जो लोग हिंदी में बात करना चाहते हैं वो हिंदी में बात करें. Anyway, let's move ahead. So, like I said, we have a lot of thoughts about the time management. Now, let me start my screen sharing, and I'll just tell you a few thoughts all of us have about our time. Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam, it is.
Yeah, yeah. So, more often than not, what we think about our time is, I just don't have any time. My tasks always get delayed. I have so much to do. कितना कुछ करना है और time ही नहीं है. I leave everything for the last minute. I think most of us, do this. I just cannot finish my task. I don't want to cut down on social media. I mean, that is something which is so important for me. That is my life. But I mean, if you are asking me to cut down on social media, then, I am not for it. Or I waste so much time on social media, but I can't, I don't know what to do about it. And I'm so stressed about time all the time. So, more often than not, we have a sort of a negative perception of time. And we really, are all the time stressed about time. And to add to it, the pandemic has really made us, like someone has mentioned, it has really played big time because we are now glued to our screens. Now, time is what we need most, but we use worst. Now, all of us have been since childhood taught that time is precious, time is money, and lost time is never found again, and so on. We know and understand all this, but then what do? We go ahead and waste our time and take our time for granted, do things which really don't help us, keep postponing things, and all of us are experts in procrastination. How many of you know what this is? Can anyone tell me what procrastination is? Now, as I mentioned, I am talking this from the perspective of students. So all my talk, all my examples, and whatever I talk will definitely be from that perspective. But the adults can of course take whatever is relevant in that context. Procrastination का मतलब क्या है? कोई बता पाएगा? So procrastination is something which we do always. It is, we keep on postponing and we keep on delaying things. And like I said, to add to it, the pandemic is creating a havoc. So I have one more question for you. How many of you are intelligent? Now this is a simple one. I think you should even at least answer this. All of us are intelligent. And I think few of us think we are super intelligent. So if we think we are super intelligent, does it not make sense that irrespective of how time is playing in our lives, we use this super intelligence to understand the value of time and address the stress we feel about it? So what we need to do is we need to use our intelligence to master our time and take charge of our life. Now let us go ahead and see how to do it. Now, whenever people talk about time management, they usually, or the talk usually starts with two important questions. What is time management and why is time management important? But I'm not going to be talking about these because the theoretical answers to these questions will not give you a direction or a solution. And the expected outcome of my talk is to give you the how of time management, and that's exactly what I will do. But if we need to learn the how of time management, the first step is to understand the why. Why do we procrastinate? Why don't we manage our time? Why are we so careless about our time? Only when we know why we do what we do, will we be able to find a way to deal with it. Now, let me explain by a simple example. If your bicycle or your two-wheeler is not working, you will need to figure out a way of how to make it work. And for this, you will need to know why it is not working in the first place. If there is a problem between you and your friend, or you have a fight and you want to know how to make it normal again, you will need to understand why the problem arose in the first place. Was it that your friend or you are hurt by what your friend said, or has your friend lied to you, and so on. So let us understand that in spite of knowing the value, why don't we manage our time? हम हमारा time manage क्यों नहीं करते हैं? दो कारण मेरे सामने आते हैं. I think there are two main reasons for this. The one is that we live with the illusion that I have all the time in the world. Do you agree with me? Let me explain this. Now, most of us, more often than not, do a task on time only when we have to do it or as a do or die situation, or it is extremely urgent, like submitting a report or cleaning your room because you got an ultimatum from your mom, or calling your friend to say sorry and so on. We do it only when we have to do it. Now, if it is a task, if the task is important but not urgent, then we tend not to do it on time. Because why? We think I have all the time in the world. मेरे पास काफी time है. Now, let me give you a very typical example for a student. You have finished, it's your final exam, and you have finished your English paper today. Tomorrow is a holiday, and day after tomorrow is your maths paper. Now, how much time do you have to revise the X number of chapters of maths? Of course, 24 hours. Of course, now the example may not be relevant because the whole system of examination has changed. But just to see a typical example, you have now 24 hours to study for the maths. So, of course, you may not study for those 24 hours, but you have that much time to finish revising all the chapters. Now, suppose your maths paper was after 4 days. Would you study for all the 4 days? Definitely not. The first day will be a chill day because you think, oh, now I have a lot of time. I have 3 days. The second day you may begin studies because your mom or your dad is after you. You still think, oh, I have 2 more days. On the third day, you may study a little bit more. And the maximum amount of revision will happen only on the last day. So can you relate to this? I think this is for every one of us. Even we have done this and we do it even now about so many things. Like even if I am preparing for my workshop, I know there are 8 days, but the maximum amount of, I am up since like 6 in the morning. I mean, did I not have time? But when I know that I have something coming up, I will sort of, keep on postponing it, thinking I have all the time in the world. So this is explained by the Parkinson's law, which says work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Now, let me give you one more example applicable for the students. Your mom says that today is Thursday, and by Sunday you have to clean your room. So an extreme ultimatum because you have been really very, very responsible about it. Now, how many of you will clean your room on Thursday? कितने लोग Thursday को room clean करेंगे? कोई भी नहीं. क्योंकि पता है कि चलो 3 दिन है, Sunday को करना है. Friday को आप क्या करोगे? Clean नहीं करोगे because पता है चलो Saturday Sunday कर लेंगे. सैटरडे को भी चलो ठीक है थोड़ा बहुत, बट यू विल नॉट डू इट. संडे को तो क्लीन करना ही है, और संडे को हम रूम क्लीन कब करेंगे? रात को 11 से 12. सो कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव. वी लिव विद द इल्यूजन दैट वी हैव ऑल द टाइम इन द वर्ल्ड. नाउ द सेकंड रीजन व्हाई वी डोंट मैनेज आवर टाइम इज दैट आवर ब्रेन वांट्स अस टू be in that comfortable place where we feel good. We don't want to feel any discomfort. We do things which make us feel good, and we avoid doing things which make us feel uncomfortable or not good. So feeling good at any moment is what all of us want. This is called instant gratification. Now, this is something which, as humans, is an inherent nature for humans because we have developed it since childhood. Like when we were a baby, we would cry when hungry, and we would stop the moment we get milk, and we would be happy. As a toddler, we would keep on crying if a stranger would hold us, and we would feel good when our parents took us back. When we were in maybe primary school, we would throw a tantrum in the mall if we didn't get a toy, our favorite toy, and stop crying only when we get it. When we grow up in secondary school, maybe we'll be angry and upset till I get the mobile I want. In college, when we go to college, we would hang around with friends whom we feel good about, and we avoid friends whom we feel bad about, we don't feel good about. And further, as young adults and adults, we all know that we keep on scrolling endlessly to social media at the cost of so many things, knowing that this may lead to addiction, knowing that this may lead to so many problems, but because it makes us feel nice, we are in that comfortable place rather than the discomfort of doing something else. So this are the two main reasons why we don't manage our time. One more example, I'm giving a lot of example because it's for students and they would then relate. You have a deadline to finish a group project and you need to call a not so favorite friend who is in your group. So will you call him immediately? You will not, because it's uncomfortable for you. You'll keep on postponing to call that not so favorite friend because you want to be in that comfortable place of not calling, even when you know that the consequences of not finishing or submitting the project on time would be quite grave. And on a serious note, we all know that smoking, drinking, and drugs is injurious to health, but all those who do it because they want to feel good. And once we start doing it, we continue because we don't want to feel the discomfort of not doing it. Now, how much ever we know it's injurious to health, I mean, we cannot stop it. So here, after seeing why we don't manage our time, now let us understand how to manage our time. तो मेन मुद्दे पे आते हैं, हमारा टाइम हम मैनेज कैसे करें. इसमें दो मुद्दे हैं, एक है माइंडसेट शिफ्ट एंड दूसरा है जो टूल्स एंड स्ट्रेटजीज हम यूज करेंगे. तो माइंडसेट शिफ्ट क्या है देखते हैं. हमने देखा था शुरू में कि वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ थॉट्स एंड बिलीव्स अबाउट आवर टाइम एंड आई एम श्योर ऑल ऑफ यू हैव योर additions to it. But what we need to do is, if we have a negative current mindset, we need to change it to a new mindset. So if my current mindset is I don't have time, we need to change it to at any given moment I am doing what I most want to be doing. So if I'm scrolling through Instagram reels instead of studying, I am doing it because that is what I most want to do at that time. It does not mean that I don't have time to study. This is a very valid point. I think all of you should understand this. If I'm lazing around in bed instead of calling my friend for something important, I am doing it because at that point of time, that is exactly what I want to do. It does not mean that I have no time to call my friend. The second mindset we have, which we have seen, is I have lots of time. We can maybe change this, and we can change this to I own my time, or I'm in control of my time. Just imagine what would happen if you owned your time and cleaned your room on that Thursday. You would feel in control. We don't do that, but just imagine what would happen. You would live your Friday and Saturday and Sunday without any nagging thought and pressure about cleaning your room, and it would have allowed you to enjoy your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And of course, one major advantage would be that you would not have to face the stern looks your mom would be giving you because you're not cleaning it each passing day. So then how do we change our mindset? When we have a new mindset, obviously we'll have new results. So how do we do that? We do that by using something called as affirmations. Can anyone here tell me what is affirmations? I think we are pretty warmed up by now. So can I expect some answers? What do you mean by affirmations? Yes? Dr. Archana, I cannot see because my screen presentation is going on. Is there anyone? Oh, I can see the chat. Yeah. Repeatedly saying what we want. Yes. Poonam, you're right. Positive commands you give to yourself. Yes. Positive confirmation. Yes. Kalpesh, Gauri, you're right. Manjushri, you're right. Yeah. So affirmations basically are positive statements that can, I just need to, positive statements that can help us to challenge and overcome our self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. When you repeat them often and believe in them, you can start making positive changes. Now you might think affirmations are unrealistic and wishful thinking, and how can anything change by just saying things? I mean, I think this is something I cannot believe in. But try to look at the positive affirmations in this way. Many of us do repetitive exercises to improve our physical health, don't we? So affirmations are like exercises for our mind to change our mindset and our outlook. जैसे वेट लॉस होने के लिए हम एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, या मसल बिल्डअप करने के लिए हम रिपीटेडली एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, उसी तरीके से अगर हम रिपीटेडली अफर्मेशंस करते जाए तो ऑटोमेटिकली एक दिन हमारा माइंडसेट चेंज होता है. Now these positive mental repetitions can reprogram our mind patterns so that over time we begin to think and act differently. Now, let me give you a proof of how affirmations work, because unless there is proof, our mind generally doesn't agree or implement an idea. So what I want you to do is, I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale, and repeat after me. I see a red tiger. Have you said that? I see a red tiger. So what did you see in your mind? Yes, come on, tell me, did you see? Yeah. So this is so simple to understand. So if you say, I will finish my studies on time, what is likely to happen? Your mind starts thinking of finishing studies on time. And if you keep on saying that to yourself several times, is there a possibility of you taking that action of finishing your studies on time? Yes, definitely yes. So here are a few list of affirmations which you can use for your time management. You can, of course, customize it according to what you want. I stay focused on what I need to do. I'm proud of how I use my time. I control my time. I make time for what is truly important for me. My days are productive and happy. I respect mine and others' time. And these are just a few. You can make your own according to your major challenges. Now, believe me, affirmations do work. I'm not saying this to sell you this point as a part of my talk, but affirmations have been something which have helped me overcome my struggles and challenges, and they continue to do so even today. I can talk a lot about affirmations and how they work and why they don't work, because this being my area of interest and how the mind works and thoughts and emotions. But we have a limit of time, so I need to go ahead. But one thing I need to say about affirmations is that they help in changing our mindset. They help in motivating us, giving us confidence. But things won't change unless you take action. सिर्फ affirmations से ही हम change नहीं ला सकते, हमको उसके साथ action भी लेना है. So action is the key. So what are the actions you need to take? So let us see the tools and strategies for time management. Now, before we see the tools and strategies, we need to first know where we are today. Right? It makes sense, doesn't it? If I need to do something about anything, I need to know where I am about it today. Only when we see where we are today will we be able to take steps to change what we need to, and change what is not good or not good about our time management, and continue what is good and refine what is good. So how will you know where you are? These are 5 questions which you ask, which may help you. The first, so when you take a sincere look at your current situation, you will be able to identify where you are. So what is the first question? What do I do the first thing in the morning and the last thing at night? Any guesses?
I don't think many guesses will be needed. We'll look at mobile.
Do you see, is this you on the bed in the morning and night? Yeah, definitely. Now, an interesting study from the IDC research says that 80% of smartphone users check their mobile devices within 15 minutes of waking up each morning. So are we in the 80%? Definitely, yes. Some of us even grab the mobile phone even before we open our eyes, and we wake up to the light and the connection with the world. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, emails just consume our time, and these external stimuli bombard us with unnecessary information and increase our levels of stress and anxiety. Although we feel nice in that senseless absorbing of information, we don't even realize we are drowning with it. For example, you get up in the morning and you see negative comments on a post you had made yesterday, and off you go on your emotional roller coaster of anger and hurt and frustration and sadness and so on, and then you react and you go on that roller coaster. So what does this do? This hijacks your attention and your time. What starts as 5 minutes goes on for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and so on. And then after that, we have to rush in our day. Then you have to compromise on your eating, you compromise on spending time with your family, and so on. So instead of starting your day proactively, focusing on your goal, we are forced to react to other people's stuff. How ridiculous can this be? And we call us super intelligent. So we really need to think about what exactly we are doing in our life. Now, even at night, what happens? Our phone, laptop is our lullaby, which puts us to sleep sometime at night when our eyes and brains get tired of the light and the information. And so we sleep not unwinding from our day, but yet again, taking and reacting into other people's life. So we wake up and sleep to not ourselves, but other people's lives. I don't think this is a very good thing to do. So how many of you relate to this? I'm sure every one of us does. Now the second question, so you prime your brain right in the morning and at night for distractions for the rest of the day. The second question which can help you is, do I have a list of things I need to do in a day? We often move into the day knowing we need to do a lot of things, but most of those don't get done because we don't have a clear list of what to do. The third question is, do I have a plan for the things I need to do in the day? Even if we have a list, if we don't have a plan, we will not be able to finish all the things in our list, because when we do them haphazardly, we'll be in a chaos. We'll not be knowing how to keep away from distractions, and we know all of us have plenty of them. The fourth question is, what are my distractions and how often do I get distracted? Of course, we all know social media is our major distraction. We all know its advantages, and what the pandemic has made it what I call as the auxiliary for survival. How many of you agree with this? We'll never be able to survive without it. It has unconsciously and consciously, it's eating up our time and life. So we definitely need to track of how much time we waste on our social distractions. The last question is, at the end of the day, how do I feel about my time? Do I feel good? Do I feel okay, bad, miserable? If we are feeling bad and miserable consistently over several days, then we really need to do something about it as a topmost priority. So I would urge all of you here to have a sincere and an honest answer to all these questions, because this will be the baseline from where you need to act and use the tools and strategies that we are discussing. So how do we do this? We need to, first of all, own your waking and sleep time. The first thing we need to do is this. So how do we do this? First is by starting to own our night. Have a night ritual. Instead of falling asleep in front of the mobile or the TV or the laptop, I have a few suggestions for you. They may seem boring and dull and not interesting and very difficult, but believe me, a simple night routine will go a long way in helping you take charge of your life. There are a few suggestions I can give you. One is, do not use your phone for an hour before you go to sleep. Seems to be an impossible task, but believe me, it is super effective. Okay, if not an hour, can you just start with 15 minutes? 15 minutes before you sleep, you just have to be off your phone. Then you will say, then what do I do until I sleep? I mean, I have nothing to do. Let me give you a few things which can really help you. One thing you can do is gratitude and prayer. Ending your day with a small prayer and thanking God for the 3 good things that happened in the day is a most efficient and a great way to end your day. We just live in and out of our days. Our life goes on. So many good things happen. So many bad things happen. We keep on focusing on the bad things, but we don't even realize that so many good things are happening in our life, and we don't even thank God for that. So this is a good time you spend in gratitude and prayer. The next thing is journaling. Write down what all goes in your mind. आपके दिमाग में जो भी आपके थॉट्स है, इमोशंस है, आइडियाज है, आपको कुछ पॉजिटिव एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है, नेगेटिव एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है, आपको कोई इंसिडेंट आपके लाइफ में हुआ है, कोई अच्छा इंटरेस्टिंग बंदा आपको मिला है, उसके साथ आपकी कुछ अच्छी बातचीत हुई है, दिन भर में जो भी आपके साथ हुआ है वो आप आपके जर्नल में लिखें. Journaling helps us to face what is within. हमारे अंदर क्या थॉट्स इमोशंस है, मोर ऑफन देन नॉट वी आर सो एंग्रॉस्ड, हम बाकी के लोगों की जिंदगी में क्या चल रहा है, व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस और सोशल मैसेजेस, ये जो इंस्टाग्राम है, हम बाकी के लोगों की जिंदगी के बारे में सब कुछ जानते हैं, पर क्या हम हमारे जिंदगी के बारे में, हमारे थॉट्स इमोशंस के बारे में उतनी जानकारी रखते हैं? नहीं. Journaling is something which will give you this, it will help you face what is within, it will help you know yourself better. And when you read your journal a few months down the line, you will know what is happening to you. Are you getting better? Are you getting worse? What are your major thoughts and what are your major concerns? It is better to write your own stories rather than, and working on yourself rather than getting engulfed in someone else's stories and lives. Do you agree with this? And one more advantage of journaling is that you will be in touch with writing. The more longer the online education system exists, the more all of us are going to lose touch with our writing. The next thing we can do is read. One of the most valuable things the modern times has taken away from us is the habit of reading. Read whatever interests you. भले आप 15 मिनट पढ़ें, 10-15 मिनट, that is enough. जो भी आपके इंटरेस्ट का सब्जेक्ट है उसके बारे में आप पढ़िए. This will enrich your life in so many amazing ways. I have talked about affirmations. You need to end your day with positive affirmations. You can affirm about whatever you want in your life and sleep on with the positive vibrations of those affirmations and not with what is happening around in the world. The most important thing to do at night is to make a to-do list for tomorrow. This is very, very important if you have to have control over your life. Now, how to do this? The most important thing is decide the sequence. You have 5 things to do. Once you have those 5 things, you decide the sequence. What is the most important thing? What is the most difficult task of all those 3-4 things? Now, Brian Tracy, a Canadian-American motivational speaker, I would suggest that you read his books. He says, and he's been a great self-development author, he talks about a concept called Eat the Frog, and he has written the book, which means that you need to start with the biggest, hardest, and the most important task first. You need to discipline yourself to begin immediately, and then you need to continue doing that task until it is complete before you go on to something else. And when you finish the most difficult task, when it is off your back earlier in the day, you can rest. The rest of the day is easy. So you need to do the worst first. So this is what Brian Tracy advocates. Now, one more important thing that I need to say is do not start with easy things. You know, most often than not, like I said, we want to be in the comfort zone. We want to get the easier things done. Like, for example, if you missed a class yesterday and you get busy getting notes from your friend on WhatsApp. Now, once you're on WhatsApp, you know what happens. So you had planned to study, but that was important for you, but you got onto an unimportant or a lesser important thing like getting your notes of the class you missed. And then when you get on WhatsApp, you see messages about your friend having a breakup. And then what will happen? You will be completely engulfed in whatever is going on in that, and you will never even know how much time passed, and you will definitely have a breakup with your studies. How many of you relate to what I'm saying? So it's very, very important how you prioritize what you do in the day. One more important thing you can do is a daily highlight. What does this mean? It is not one thing you want to do get done in the day, which is important or exciting or fun, or a simple thing like you somehow discovered, you know, your friend plays the ukulele and you found it very, very interesting, and you thought, oh, let me see, I also need to learn this. So you want to learn about it, see what it is. You have nothing, you don't know, uske bare mein aapko kuch pata nahi hai. So maybe you can schedule some. That's an important thing for you because वो आपको करना है. तो टाइम शेड्यूल कीजिए कि हाँ, ये 15 मिनट में ये करना है. So if you do this, like for example, you want to call your grandmother because she has not been well and you've been postponing. So when you just imagine how you will feel when you see yourself doing that one important thing for months together. So does that mean that you are not going to do other things? Of course, they have to be done, but you need to plan for those. But you will have the satisfaction of doing that one thing, and that is very, very, it sets you off on a very good mood. Now, how can you own your morning? Like for the night, you have to decide that you do not touch your mobile phone first thing in the morning. This may seem like a torture or a punishment or an impossible task, but believe me, if you get into this, you will master this. You will be in those 20%, like I said, who control their time and who have increased productivity and are successful. Second is wake up with a smile. Don't you think it makes sense that you smile about yourself and smile about your life rather than smiling at some silly WhatsApp forwarded by someone? Doesn't it make sense? Next is again gratitude and prayer. Like I said, you need to begin your day with a small prayer. Thank God for three things in your life which are most amazing. To start, if you don't think of anything, at least thank God for waking you up on that day. There would be so many people around the world who would not even wake up to this day. So we are extremely grateful to be alive today. Journaling, like I said, you can do the journaling in the morning if the night is not working for you. You can then, of course, as you do in the night, you can schedule it, you can read in the morning. I prefer reading at night because it takes my mind off everything about the day, and I can then unwind with other things we're talking about. So whatever is comfortable for you. Affirmations, you to begin your day with positive affirmations will set the tone for the day. Tony Robbins, who is a motivational speaker, he suggests incantations. So what does that mean? Saying your affirmations loudly. This is a very good way to start your day. Meditation, of course. For students, it is, I understand it's a little difficult for you to get yourself to meditate, but I would urge you to learn meditation. आप meditation सीखे, किसी expert से आप meditation सीखे, and see उससे आपके जिंदगी में क्या फर्क पड़ता है. I can go on talking about meditation, but I just need to, move ahead. What doesn't it make sense to, quieten your mind to in the morning rather than, filling it with so much of overwhelming information from social media. Next is pranayam and deep breathing. As a doctor, I can say that there is one thing which will keep your body in perfect health, and that is deep breathing. The pandemic has shown us that the people who have survived the virus are those with a better lung capacity. Exercise, I don't need to tell you the benefits of exercise. What do you think will help you? 10 minutes of exercise or 10 minutes of scrolling through Instagram? The answer is quite evident. And the most important thing you need to do is plan your day. So you need to use your list you made the night before to plan your day. And planning your day, the first thing in the morning, relieves us of the burden of deciding what to do through the day. So earlier on, I was using this, I was planning my day by the time-bound technique, where you have a start and an end day for your task. So this is how my plan looked like. But then I realized I was failing at it. I was getting frustrated, feeling miserable about my time management. And let us assume as a student, this is your plan. So according to this plan, you need to get up you need to study from 9 to 11 o'clock. Now, suppose for some reason you could not study till 10 o'clock, something came up or whatever. You will now think, oh, it's late now. There's no point in studying now. And you could have easily studied from 2 hours, you could have studied from 11 to 1 or 10 to 1, sorry. But you will not do that because in your mind, you have a fixed time in your mind and you will feel the resistance and you will not study. So this method does not work because, the start and end time tends to put a resistance if it is not followed. There is no flexibility and there is no consideration for interruptions. For example, if you're studying and your grandmother gets too unwell and you have to go out to get a medicine the doctor has prescribed, your study time will be over and now you will not know what to do, when to study because you have not scheduled it ahead of the day. And what is the most annoying part of this time-bound technique is that you have to get up at the same time, and this is most annoying. So I needed to find a solution for this, and I came across a video which talked about the time boxing technique for time management. So this is a practice of setting a fixed amount of time for each task and integrating the resulting time blocks in your schedule. So this is used by Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and many successful people. So the simplest way to do it is to write your daily plan on a whiteboard and write the estimated amount of time each is going to take. So my plan would look like this, and as a student, your plan would look like this. So according to this plan, if you have decided to wake up at 7, and if you wake up at 7:15, it really doesn't make much of a difference. You can, because you have said you will exercise for 1 hour, you can exercise from 7:15 to 8:15. You can then get ready and have breakfast for 45 minutes further than that, and then study 2 hours after that. So there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of consideration for the interruptions which happen here. So one biggest advantage here is that there is no pressure about getting up on a fixed time. This does not mean that you can get up at any time, then of course there will be no schedule. But because you are not pressurized to get up because it is according to the amount of hours you have prescribed, there will be no pressure. And when there is no pressure, we automatically start getting up on that time as planned. And that really makes sense. And one more advantage is that the time limitation intensifies your level of focus. इतने टाइम में मुझे इतना काम करना है, तो मैं पूरा फोकस के साथ वो टाइम करती हूँ. And the biggest advantage, and I'm sure every one of you students and adults as well will love this advantage, we can time box our social media time. When I'm saying time management means you need to cut off on your social media. No one is going to relate to this, no one is going to agree to this, and no one is going to implement this in their lives, because if I tell them to do something which is not possible, it will not happen. So cutting off social media is not the way of time management. What is the proper way of time management about social media? Because that is the most burning issue in our lives today, is time boxing our social media. So what if I tell you social media for 2 hours? How will you feel about this? Amazing, isn't it? So you can time box your social media. Of course, this is not the important thing, but like I told you, you need to schedule your time for the most important things. Like Brian Tracy said, eat the frog, you do that. But you also give a dedicated 2 hours, whatever hours, for social media. And you can also say Netflix binge watching for 6 hours on Sunday. How does this sound to you? Amazing, isn't it? Now, let me tell you my experience about this and why it worked for me. Now, suppose if I have scheduled 2 hours for content writing for my videos. So 10 to 12 is my content writing for my videos. And after I do something focused and creative, and which takes a lot of my discipline. After that, I schedule something which I really want to do. So 10 to 12 is my content, and 12 to 1 is my social media time. I can watch TV, I can scroll through reels, I can do whatever. You know what happens? As I approach 12, I feel so happy. Oh my God, now I'm going to finish this work, and from 12 to 1, आराम से मैं अपना TV देखूंगी, मैं मेरे series देखूंगी, I'll watch my Instagram reels. So this is so feel good. And at the same time, the responsibility is on me that no, if I have to enjoy the TV, I cannot enjoy the TV if I have not really done my focused, dedicated content writing. So the responsibility is on me. So I work with dedication for those 2 hours, and I earn my social media time. How does this sound to you? It's great, isn't it? So you have to earn your social media time, not cut down on it. So how to make this time boxing effective? You have to estimate. The first thing is estimate how long a task will take. Now, what usually happens is we are all prone to something called as planning fallacy. It's a human tendency to overestimate. हाँ नहीं ठीक है, मैं इतने टाइम में ये सब कर लूंगा. हमको लगता है कि हम काफी सारी चीजें उतने टाइम में करेंगे, पर ये ऐसे होता नहीं है. अगर हम एस्टिमेट ना कर पाए तो हम बहुत कम चीजें उस टाइम में हम कर पाएंगे. So you have to estimate how long a task will take. A simple thing which you can do is, if you really want to do is, you can start reading a chapter of 10 pages probably and see how much time it takes. So you will know how much time on an average you take. For adults, you can simple things like how much time do I need to cook a meal. खाना बनाने के लिए मुझे कितना टाइम लगता है, गार्डन में पानी डालने के लिए मुझे कितना टाइम लगता है, या मुझे कुछ संडे का मेरा रूम क्लीनिंग के लिए कितना टाइम लगता है. If I have an estimate, I can obviously use that in my time boxing. Now, second thing is you need to split bigger tasks into smaller subtasks. इससे होता क्या है कि बहुत ज्यादा टाइम ब्लॉक, अगर 4 घंटे का अगर टाइम ब्लॉक है तो फिर इट्स बहुत मुश्किल है वो सब फॉलो करना. अगर छोटे छोटे सब टास्क में हम उसको डिवाइड करें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप एक स्टूडेंट हो और आपको एक प्रोजेक्ट दिया गया है, ग्रुप प्रोजेक्ट, तो आपके 4 फ्रेंड्स मिलकर इसको करना है. तो आप अगर 4 घंटे का, अगर ऐसे टुडे ऑन सैटरडे आई विल हैव 4 hours ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट टाइम फ्रॉम 4 to 8, तो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो इसी को अगर आप सब टास्क में डिवाइड करो, यू हैव 1 week फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट, तो यू टाइम ब्लॉक 1 hour टुडे प्रोजेक्ट. इन दिस 1 hour आई विल do the research, I will find out information from the net. Tomorrow morning from 10 to 11, 1 hour, I will start preparing my presentation on that. Tomorrow evening 5 to 6 for 1 hour, I'll talk with my friend, discuss with my friend, and then we'll sort of discuss what is common and decide what to do, and so forth. So what happens with subtasks is that the task list is more action oriented and clear, and it will help you with your estimation of time, and it obviously it's easier to estimate how long a small well defined task will take. Now next is avoid temptation to overschedule your day. बहुत सारी चीजें हम प्लान करते हैं, मैं ये भी कर लूंगा, मैं वो भी कर लूंगा, but that will not lead you anywhere. The second thing is revise your plan. when we talk about time boxing, the most legitimate objection against this is, how do you deal with interruptions? क्योंकि हमने तो plan कर लिया, पर interruptions हमारे दिल में कभी भी आ सकते हैं. Interruptions आए, distractions आए, तो उसका क्या करें? So there are two ways to deal with it. If the interruption or the distraction or something which has come up, not a distraction but something important has come up, then if it is something which you need to do immediately, जैसे मैंने बोला था आपके ग्रैंडमदर बीमार है और आपको उनके लिए दवाई लाने जाना है, तो ऑब्वियसली आप दवाई लाने जाओगे, और 1 घंटा अगर हुआ है तो आप वो 1 घंटा शाम को शेड्यूल करोगे. In this way you will be completing your studies. If there is something which comes on and which is not important, like for example, you in the morning you come to know that your friend's mother is not well, so uske liye what you do is, for such things which come up but which you have to deal with, but they are also important, you set buffer time for the interruptions. Like 7 से 8 is my buffer time. इस टाइम में मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, जो दिन भर में आया है, जो मैं important था पर urgent नहीं था, I can deal with this. You can talk to your friend, you can go and visit your friend and visit the mom and so on. And end of the day, you need to analyze your plan. How is it going for me? What is happening about time management? What is working? What is not working? What is happening? So these are the way how you make your time boxing work. Now let me add a spiritual aspect to time management. All of us have heard and know Sadhguru. I am a great follower of his, and some things of his really have made a great impact on me. So he says, Sadhguru, the great Indian guru and the proponent of spirituality, he gives us a different perspective. He says it is not about time management, but about self-management. In order to manage your time, you need to manage yourself. Managing ourselves is to manage our energies, how they function. If you're high on energy, you can get things done in less time. And obviously, if you're low on energy, even how much ever time you take, it is less for you. So in order to master your time, you need to master your energy. And he says, unfortunately, we live as if we will never die. If you think we are immortal, we will not value time. We all hence need to realize that our time is limited, and hence we should be doing things which matter, our goals, our relationships, our health, and so on, and not waste time in getting involved in unnecessary things like quarreling and getting angry and getting bitter and holding grudges and so on. So after this, let me just give you some tips on time management. As students, especially in your exam time, you need to keep things in place. Let me give you a small example. Suppose it's your exam tomorrow and you call up your friend to take some important last minute notes, and you write it down on a paper, and your mom calls you for lunch. You leave that paper on the table and you rush for lunch and you forget about it. Tomorrow morning when you are hunting for the note, obviously you're not going to get it. So keeping important things in place, like the key of your two-wheeler, you rush inside the house and you just keep the two-wheeler key on your bed and it just gets lost in your blankets and cushions, and in the morning you have to rush out, where is the key? So keeping things in place is a very, very small thing, which is something I have learned from my mistakes when everything was chaotic in my life. Keeping things in place is a very, very simple thing. And I'm sure your moms are after you, and all these things. So that really makes sense to listen to your mom on this. The next thing is, do not follow someone else's successful strategy. We hear so many successful people, and Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and even in India we have so many successful people to follow, and we try to copy that and do those things, but it will not work because that is not your life scenario and you are not that person. So don't try to follow someone else's success story. Keep improvising your daily routine. There are so many things you learn in your day. It's not that you make a fixed plan and it has to go according to schedule. Like I said, it's not 100% foolproof. You have to keep on improvising what works, what doesn't work. Maybe journaling at in the morning is not something you are really wanting to do. Journal in the night, or you want to add something. You want to play music. You want to listen to music. Definitely, you can add this in your routine. Find an accountability partner so that you are accountable. Many of the times when we are doing it alone, we just don't keep a track of ourselves. But when you have an accountability partner as one of your friends, and you are both doing it together, then you know that, oh, she will ask me, he will ask me, what did you do, and I have to answer. So this works great when we are actually doing exercise, like we have an accountability partner in the gym, so we sort of keep a track of what is happening to us cycling or exercise and so on. Delete unnecessary contacts on WhatsApp and Instagram. See, I'm not telling you to delete your social media completely, but definitely the unnecessary things which are happening in our social media. Set yourself some rewards. Today, if you have done at least 3 things from your 5 things of to-dos, you are more than 50%, you have achieved your goals. So set yourself some rewards. You like to go out and buy yourself that ice cream, or go out and buy yourself that outfit, or go outside and buy yourself that thing which you really wanted for. You reward yourself. Next is find your right time for your task. Like I said, some people like to exercise in the morning, some in the evening, some people like to study in the morning, you may like to study at night. So it's not that you need to have a fixed rigid timetable like anyone else. You have to find what is the right time for that task for you. The next is, do not use your mobile phone for morning alarms. Again, this will agar aap mobile phone use karoge alarm ke liye, to obviously phone agar haath mein loge, to again you will go into that same roller coaster, and we don't want to do this. Do not expect your plan to work from day one. पहले दिन से तो ये plan work नहीं करेगा, काफी दिन लगेंगे settle होने के लिए, but once settled, you will be doing wonderfully. Have patience. It takes time to settle on anything new, because हमको आदत नहीं है, हमको ऐसे time bound चीजें करने में, planning करने में, टाइम बॉक्सिंग करने के लिए, या ये सब चीजें करने की हमको अगर आदत नहीं है, तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत पेशेंस लगेगा. बट इफ यू हैव पेशेंस, ऑब्वियसली the fruits will be awesome. Don't be too obsessed or stressed. Like I said, what was happening with me is when I had that time bound technique of fixed hours, I was too obsessed. Oh my God, I have to get up at 5. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I haven't slept now. Now what do I do? How do I get up at 5? I'm sure I'm not going to get up at 5 again the whole day. So, too obsessed about that. But when you are not, you just have to maybe give a positive affirmation, or just say, okay, this is my plan and I'm going to follow it. Yes, you may not get up at 6 for 1 day, 2 days, but when you are, taking off the pressure of yourself, there will definitely come a day when you will get up at 6 o'clock, and believe me, this is possible. Encourage others to manage time. One of the greatest thing about anything is for you to follow is when you tell others. When you tell others, automatically it is your responsibility that you follow. It cannot happen that you tell others and you don't follow. Use social media to help and improvise your strategies. There are so many great videos on these things, so you can definitely make use of that and definitely monitor your progress. Now, how do you monitor? One quick way is you have to be productive and not busy. End of each day, ask yourself, have I been busy or productive? And you will get an answer. Now, I have given you practical, doable, effective techniques. I have done my job. Since the essence of this talk is master your time and take charge of your life, now it is your responsibility, because it is your life. Your time is your responsibility, and it is definitely your life. You need to do your bit. You have to have the honesty, commitment, dedication, integrity towards managing your time, because no one else will. You can attend several webinars like this on time management. You can see several videos, but ultimately it will work for you only when you have the honesty and commitment and take action. If you have, like, for example, very simple example, if you have time boxed for studies for 2 hours, you study for half an hour and say, oh, I had posted this on Instagram. Let me see, let me check how many people have seen it or how many comments have I got. I'll just check it and come back. No, you cannot do this, because this may seem as a one-time, a very small, insignificant act. But by doing this, what are you doing? You are proving to yourself that you are not honest. You cannot keep commitments. You have no dedication and you have no integrity. Because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if you don't have a commitment towards the most important thing in your life, that is time, how will you have commitment for anything else in your life? So this was all I had to give you. I just want a quick recap of what we saw today. Can anyone just tell me? I hope by now at least I have some responses from the audience, and some of you, can you just tell me what was happening? What did we see through the last 1 hour? What was your take-home message? Can you just give me some learnings for today? If you can mute yourself and talk, that will be awesome. Dr. Archana, can we unmute people? Are they willing to talk?
Madam, they are actually, they will be able to unmute themselves at will because I have removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So can I have some take-home messages? What have you really learned? Yes, Rohan says exercise in the morning and think what we all the things at night. Yes, the night routine. Meditation, self-management. Yes, Kalpesh. Vikramjit says we should have flexibility in our time table and we should plan our actions. Absolutely fine. Great. Ujjwala says positive thinking. Ujjwala says time is yours and you can manage according to your comfort. Absolutely great. Avnish says time is my responsibility. Kalpesh says time boxing instead of shared time scheduling. Yes, absolutely fine. Great. Now, I will just sort of recap. Yes, time boxing, positive mindset, time scheduling. Absolutely. Is something we should always pay attention to. That's wonderful, Anushka. Thank you so much for all the responses. Planning your day, says Neeta. Shilpa says time boxing. Work for a plan, says Neeta. Great. Time is your responsibility, says Vijay. Kalpesh says have gratitude. Amazing. Thank you so much for all those who have really. Manjushri says time boxing, for all the responses. Absolutely amazing. So just to analyze your day, says Neeta. Yes, absolutely. So just to recapitulate for you, you need to see how my time management is now and then scale yourself. Is it bad, poor, average, good, excellent? And how do I want my time management to be? Obviously, all of us will want it to be good and excellent. So then what do I need to do for this? So 3 easy steps. 1 is take a sincere look at my current life situation. 2, make a clear agenda about what I need to achieve. If you're a student, what is your aim? If you are in college, what is your aim? If you're a young adult going into a professional college and going on finishing your college, what is it that you want to achieve? For me, my goal will be so different than what is yours. So I have to know what I need to achieve in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. So clear agenda. And then what is the best suitable time management strategy I can customize for myself. These are few books which are are good books. There are several books available. So just a few suggested readings for you. So today I have made a sincere and honest attempt to put forth all that I have learned in these years and put to practice and benefited. And I sincerely hope that all of you benefit from what we saw today. Each of my talks has been a great learning for me, and while I'm preparing for it, while I'm conducting it, and more so with the wonderful interactions I have during the session, and so many people even connect to me after the session, and it is so very amazing because it aligns to my purpose of making a difference in someone else's life.
Absolutely.
So are you ready and committed to master your time and take charge of your life? Yes, are you ready? I'm sure all of you are. Thank you so much. You have been a wonderful audience, and thank you, Dr. Archana, for this wonderful opportunity to interact with such amazing people. This is my email and address, and if anyone wants to connect, I will be most happy to talk to you. Thank you once again.
Yes, thank you so much, madam. I think that was a wonderful talk. And yes, I mean, the only thing I think what you said is do not emulate someone else's success stories. But if you see majority of the successful people, if one thing that we would find in common with all of them is that they are disciplined people. Right. And how they discipline themselves is something which they have managed in their own time, in their own way, in their own manner. They have found their own ways to discipline themselves and set their time management goals, but each and every one of them has done it. So yes, you taught something very, very wonderful, that time is owned by us, provided we are willing to own the time. Otherwise, the time is very, very fluid and it's going to just go away without allowing us anything, not even an iota of it to come back. There's no chance that the time is going to come back. So you children, you people are, going to be going for your board exams very, very soon. And, there's still a lot of time left. Like even if you say, and between each exam also, you have a few days gap, which we never had the privilege too. We had exams in a succession, rather we would have two exams in one day. That is the kind of ways in which we have given our exams. But please do not wait for the last day for any preparations, because that more often than not, it turns disastrous. Because studies have shown that, you cannot reproduce. You may think that you have read everything, but studies have shown that whatever you read only once, whenever you want to reproduce it at exam, you can reproduce only 15 to 20% of it. You cannot reproduce what you read once in the exam. If you want to reproduce 75% of whatever you have read, you need to read at least 4 times. And if you want to read something 4 times, you need to have a time management, you need to have a schedule, you need to have a discipline. We are talking more about the studies, more about the exams, because as Madam rightly said, our life goals and your life goals are very, very different. Our life goals and our time management is going to focus on our work, and your time management and your life goals is going to focus on your studies. So with this, we have brought you something which is going to help you to manage your time and focus yourselves in a very, very decent way, but it is up to you. How do you take the most of it? So with this, the forum is open for question answer session, and everybody is most welcome to ask your questions. Either you can ask in the chat box and I'll take it up for you, or you can raise your hand and I'll invite each one of you to ask your questions. Anybody wants to ask a question can, raise your hand and I'll invite you to ask your question. Oh, either we have to take that it was wonderful or it is not understood at all. So there's a question: how to manage the time and how to be peaceful without stress. Can you tell this, ma'am?
I think this whole session was about how we managed our time. So, Alekhya, so I have in this session given a few. Of course, this was I don't know what your age is, whether you're a student or what your life situation is. So basically, when you talk about time management, you first need to see where you are. Like I have told you, the first step. So many people already do a lot of things. Like, when I started, I was doing something, but I was, not using the correct technique. So only when I saw that this is not working, then I could sort of, go on to do something which worked for me. So the first step for you to manage your time is to see what exactly you are doing about your time. You can be at a total zero. You are just living the day by as it comes. It can be so, or you may be using something. So the first step, Alekhya, is to see where you are now. Okay, and whatever is your goal, if you're a student, if you have your 10th boards coming up, maybe, I don't know, they may be in March, or I don't know for sure, or whether you're in college and you have to study for some entrance exam, I don't know what state you're a student, right? Okay, so because if you're a student, then what is the next thing which is going to happen to you now? So you have to plan. There is something called as the retrograde planning. Okay, so if you have your exam, say on 10th of March, so from today, you calculate how many days you have till 10th of March. And you are a first year, first year. Okay. So whatever, if you have an exam coming up, or if you have something, so you have to do a retrograde planning if you have some actual event coming up. And then you calculate the number of days you have, and you calculate the number of hours you have. And then I have told you, you have to first assess how much of time. See, I can take 20 minutes to read a chapter, but you can do that in 10 minutes. So you have to have an assessment of yourself as to how much time each task, like when I told you how to use time boxing effectively, you have to take an estimate of how much time it requires. And then when you have this estimate, you can time box your days. Okay. And of course, when you have to be very, very sure that you time box social media. I am not saying don't look at Netflix. I'm not saying even on the day before your exam, you can open your WhatsApp and look at your Instagram reel and watch that much of, but provided you have that much of commitment and honesty to your time boxing, you focus on that. And then, like I said, you have to earn your social media.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
that is the way. I hope Alekhya, I have answered your question, and without stress. Yeah, like I said, if you are too obsessed with what is happening, how will I get? It's now 12 o'clock, and I had planned to get up at 5 o'clock. Now it's not possible. How can I sleep only for 4 hours and 5 hours? If you keep on stressing yourself now, and the more time you have for sort of a deadline, the more that is the time when you get used to it. It's fine for a week if you don't get up at 6 o'clock. It is absolutely fine because you have time. So when you have time for managing your for time, so you use this as that buffer period in which you get over your stress and anxiety. Fine. Today I was to get up at 6 o'clock. I got up at 7. No problem. I had to exercise from 6 to 7, not from 6 to 7, because we are not going to get into that time bound technique. I had to exercise for an hour. I did it at 7 o'clock. Fine. When that stress is offloaded, you will automatically get into, that is why the affirmations, that is why going to sleep in your own skin, rather than getting so much of information and other external stimuli, that helps. When you're at a peaceful state of unwinding of your own life, you get de-stressed. Automatically, you will get up, and sometimes even you will get up without an alarm. So that is the amazing power of these, morning and night routines and rituals. I hope, Alekhya, I have answered your question.
I think, madam, what you said was very right, that when you are trying out time boxing, see to it that you are putting difficult tasks before you are thinking of doing easier tasks. So because for you students, studies is going to be one of the most difficult tasks to concentrate.
Yeah.
So plan that ahead of anything else, because otherwise you will find that you have put away your times for social media, for friends, for everything else. But if you kept your studies towards the end, by the end of the day you will feel that, oh my god, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And that today and tomorrow is something which is never going to get you the best out of anything. What you plan today has to be done today. And what madam rightly said, that start at least writing a journal. If not a journal proper, start writing on a piece of paper where you are spending most of your day. So then you will realize where you're spending most of your day, and then you will realize that, oh, I'm putting so much time where probably I should have at least given a bit of it towards my studies. And that is what will probably make you more focused towards your studies.
Yeah.
And somebody just asked a question, we need to be more flexible, at the same time be more disciplined. Yes, discipline is going to win you a lot of things, because you may be a slow reader, you may be a fast reader, because that is not something we ask from God. God gave each one of us our own different characteristics, our own weaknesses, our own strengths. So we all do not come with the same RAM or with the same, I would say, the motherboard or the same things that everybody would hope for. But what we all can inculcate, what we all can imbibe is a lot of discipline. And the discipline can get us through a lot of places. And for someone who asked about the stresses, the next session, madam, I'll take a minute, that our next session is on 20th of February. Keeping again the board exams which are upcoming in mind, we are taking the next session is from stress to success. So that is our next session, from stress to success, where we will be trying to teach you certain successful stress management ways. It will be taken by renowned psychiatrist Dr. Harish Shetty, and we invite all of you to join in on 20th February at 10:30. We'll be taking from stress to success. So with this, we move on to the next question. Ma'am, mostly I'm getting distraction, but I want to study and reach it. How is it possible?
Yeah, Alekhya, see, you really need to understand, we have been talking about this, everyone gets distracted. You are not an exception to that. Every student, even I get distracted, but that is exactly what we're talking about. We have to, so I can tell you 2-3 things. When you are studying, obviously you cannot keep your mobile with you. You have to keep your mobile away. You have to keep all your notifications. If you're on a laptop, if there are notifications coming on your Facebook or any other notifications on your laptop or your, whatever device you're using, you have to put off the notifications, put off your phone. The major distraction is social media. A major distraction. So whatever is the source, you have to just see to it that you devise your way. See, I can tell you a few things, but you have to devise your own way. See, some people can be comfortable with even putting the phone on silent and I have developed that much of discipline that it can just be there. But if I'm someone who is constantly, oh, thoda sa wahan par light lag gaya hai, matlab kuch to aaya hai, let me check what it is, shayad kuch important hoga. So then I can keep it in the other room. In the morning, you cannot get up. You keep your alarm. Don't use your phone. The alarm ka chota ghadi milta hai. Keep it in some other place where you have to get up and close the alarm. or if you are getting distracted by something happening within the family, there are a lot of people in your house, or then you can find a way of maybe talking to them. Or ऐसे होता है कि घर में बाई आने का कुछ एक time होता है, 11 to 12 there is so much of hustle bustle, and so you plan your time box in such a way where at that point of time when the buy is coming and everything is happening, you do some less focus or discipline, like suppose you have some diagrams or some biology things where you're an artist and you like to draw things, so you can practice diagrams in that 1 hour when you don't need to focus, and it's easy for you to keep away distractions. So whatever is your distraction, just identify it. If you write it down, it's well and good, and then according to the distraction you have to figure out. I said all of us are super intelligent. The fact that Alekhya, you're going to college and you're doing so amazingly good for yourself, that means you are intelligent. So you don't need me or anyone. You have to just sit down, you have to see what is happening. Okay, this is what is happening and this is what I need to do. You need to use my intelligence. Good, Alekhya?
And you are most welcome to ask questions even after the session ends, Alekhya, and any other student. If you ever feel that you need to ask about anything, talk about anything, you feel stressed out about anything, Madam has already given out her number, and you may also put a question to us on 9819018000. Okay, and we will definitely talk to an expert and try to get back to you. 9819018000. You can write back to us. If you feel stressed, please, just do not think of exams as the end of everything or the beginning of everything. Exams do come and go, and exams will give you stress if one, you are not pre-planned, or second, if you do not plan it well in advance, and third, if you do not continuously go on working towards it, then the exams are going to give you stress. So do not allow the exams to give you stress. The exams will come, the exams will go. Exams are not the beginning or end of anything. And you can always re-give the exams if something goes wrong during this exam. But marks should never be the end point. What should be most important is that you given your 100% to give that exam. That is what matters. Given your 100% to give the exam, and definitely you will be getting good results. So anytime you all want to talk about something to us, please feel free to do so, and we will be always available to answer your queries. So any more question anybody wants to ask? Or can we just end the session?
Yeah, at this point, I just want to add on to what you said. It is so very important. Students, most of the time, for some reason, they don't come out and don't talk about what is happening. So that is why journaling is so important. That is why, sitting with yourself, meditation is so important. First of all, to face what is happening within. And please do not hesitate to take help, to talk to someone who you find, it can be a parent, it can be a adult in your family, it can be a friend. I have shared my number and email. You can reach out to me or anyone else you find comfortable. But the point is, please talk to someone if you feel you are stressed. There is no shame. There is no nothing, no taboo attached, or there is nothing which is you're doing wrong, or you are not proving to be a weak individual if you're asking for help. Let me put it here on this forum very strongly that the people who ask for help are the strongest people, because they understand what is happening. The people who don't ask for help are weak because they don't understand. They are most self-aware, unconscious people. So asking for help is definitely a sign of maturity, consciousness, awareness, and that is exactly what we want you
absolutely. So and it may so happen that you tried to speak to one person and that person could not understand of what you're speaking. That's okay. I mean, maybe not everybody can understand what a mental stress is all about, and the stress is always very, very real. The stress can give you anxiety, stress can give you depression, stress can give you a lot of mental and physical issues. So they are very, very real. Just the only thing is that if one person could not understand what you spoke about, does not mean that others will not. So try and reach out to somebody else. But exam times are stressful. Unfortunately, our study system is like that, which is going to give a lot of stress because we rely more upon the marks. So yes, the system is what it is. We cannot change the system as of now. But the only thing is that please reach out, children, and do not keep your frustrations within yourselves. some or the other help is always there around you. So we will definitely try to come up with the next session on stress management, that is from stress to success. Do join us on 20th of February at 10:30 a.m. sharp on the same forum, Zoom. We'll try to put it out on different without manipulating food and sleep. Ma'am, could you please tell if time can be effectively managed without manipulating food and sleep, madam?
If I understand this question, I don't get the name. PS.
Yeah.
Without manipulating food and sleep, I mean, we don't need to manipulate food and sleep. Food, sleep, and exercise are the pillars of our health. So if you need to achieve anything in life, you need to be very clear on eating right, getting adequate sleep, and getting some physical and mental exercise.
Absolutely.
So you don't need to manipulate your food and sleep. जल्दी जल्दी खाना है, कम खाना है, या कम सोना है, या like people say, अरे नहीं, मुझे तो we hear about successful people, oh, they sleep only for 4 hours and I'm so active. I sleep only for 2 hours and I'm so active. All these things are for them. Probably it's working for them. You don't need to manipulate your food and sleep. If you do that, you will not be able to manage. Leave aside time, you will not even be able to live that long to do anything with your life. So please don't manipulate your food and life. The effectiveness of time management is based on how like I've showed the 3 steps. You see where you are. You have to identify what is it that you want, and then you have to take up a strategy which will suit you depending on where you are in your life. PS, I don't know what age or what life situation you are in, but this is what I would like to say this to you. So is
absolutely
the question answered, PS?
I think, even if you feel you are studying in the middle of a study session, like probably you're doing a self-study, you have kept a time box of say 2 hours, but within the 2 hours, if you feel that I'm sleepy, I mean, really, when I'm sleepy, can I study? I mean, I cannot study when I'm sleepy because my entire focus is going to be in my sleep. So it's okay. You can take a power nap of say half an hour or so, set an alarm, take a power nap of half an hour and restart your studies. And that is what madam has said, that, keep a time box, because the time box gives you a lot of flexibility. If the time box says that in a day you will be giving say 4 hours to your studies, so those 4 hours can be taken up in breaks also. They do not have to be really at a stretch. And really the studies have shown that nobody can focus on a particular task or on a study more than 45 minutes at a stretch, and rather it does not help at all. Studying in small I would say sets, that would help you focus and concentrate much more. So compromising on food, I mean, I do not know how that concept came in. Compromising on food was never in question. What generally comes in question is compromising on your sleep, and that is just not advisable. Okay, and during the exams, rather, if you are very well prepared, you have revised everything for say 10 times and 12 times, and everything by heart, and still before the exam, if you do not sleep, you are not going to be able to reproduce anything at all in the exams. That has happened with me in my MD exam. I can share it with you that not because I did not want to study, but because of the stress, I could not study during my MD exam. And I was asked a question, rather we had essay, big essays to be written during my MD exam. And I actually went off to sleep, putting my head down. I actually went off to sleep during my MD exam when we had only 3 hours to write such big things. And my examiner had to wake me up that, beta, you get up, you go, you just wash your face and you come back. So this was all stress doing something. It was not that I intended to keep up in the night, but it was the stress which was not allowing me to sleep. So if you don't sleep, I mean, there is nothing that you're going to be able to do well. You will never be able to perform well in the exams. So students do not have these kind of concepts. Food and sleep are non-compromisable items. You cannot compromise there, but that does not mean that you get the liberty to be kumkarms and, just sleep your time day in and day out. You sleep it off, and, right at the time of exams, you'll say, I'll keep the whole day and the whole night awake, and I'll just try to finish my studies at that time. So discipline, stretching your time does not help. Breaking your time into different aspects and seeing to it that your time boxing is satisfied, the way you have broken them down into different segments is what is going to help you.
Yeah.
So I think with this, we are coming to the end of the questions. Is there any other question which anybody would like to ask, or can we wrap up the session?
Yeah. And just one last thing I need to add about the eating. As doctors, all of us know, see, if you don't eat, your brain will not have the energy to write your answers, or even study for that matter and write. So please do not manipulate and compromise on your eating. Even if it is rushed, even if it is, you don't have time. So don't say, because eating is something which we keep as a last priority. We may even sleep, we may do anything. We may spend time in getting ready, but we will compromise on eating. Rather you don't get ready, rather you go shabbily to the exam center or online or whatever, but eat. So eating is your fuel for your brain to
Absolutely.
study. So please don't compromise on your or manipulate your eating and sleep. Yeah.
Great. So I think this was a very, very, very elaborate session, and I think the students, and of course this was very insightful for the parents and the teachers as well, because what I have seen is that the students feel stressed that they need to perform, and they need to show the results to their parents and the teachers. So that is somewhere it does put a lot of stress on the children. So I think we as parents and the teachers also need to be very understanding that the students should be encouraged to do their best, and the results need to be left up to, I would say the examination system as to how the checking is done and how the marks are given out. So with this, I think, do we have Dr. Pandekar with us? Okay, I don't think she's there. Today's session, the recording of today's session will be available on our YouTube channel, which goes by the name of Teen Talk. We have got 15 sessions available there already. There are various sessions which have been done till now, and they are all available there. The recording is available there for everyone to view through. So today's recording will also be available by today evening on our YouTube channel, which goes by the name of Teen Talk. So please do go back and encourage your friends also to go through today's recording, because it was very, very important, and I'm sure everyone has learned a lot. So with this, I think it is time to end the session. I cannot thank Dr. Kavita Karir enough for giving such wonderful practical tips to be used by students at home, and I'm sure the students are going to make the most of it and do some good time management and get the best results out of it during their exam time. I sincerely thank IMA Maharashtra State President Dr. Suhas Pingle sir, IMA Maharashtra State Honorary Secretary Dr. Mangesh Pate sir for sparing time from their schedule and joining us in the beginning of the session. And thank you, all the students, parents and teachers who have joined from different parts of Maharashtra and a few from different parts of India for today's wonderful session on this wonderful Sunday morning, and hope to see you all soon in our next session, that is from Stress to Success, on 20th February at 10:30 a.m. sharp. So thank you so much, Kavita madam. And before I forget, can I just present a certificate of gratitude to you? So from IMA Maharashtra State Mission Pink Health, we present the certificate of gratitude to you for giving your expert guidance to students on time management during the community guidance webinar, Master Your Time and Take Charge of Your Life, organized by MPH IMA Maharashtra State on Sunday, 6 February 22 under Teen Talk series. So thank you so much, madam. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam.
It was my pleasure to be here with all of you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you and goodbye till we meet on 20th of February. Thank you. We'll be ending this session now.